Ever bought a motorcycle thinking it'd last forever, only to find it needed constant fixing? Well, thankfully, some bikes are built like tanks. Japanese manufacturers especially have given us some legendary machines that just keep going and going. Forget the workshop drama. These 20 bikes are known for racking up the miles without major headaches. Grab your helmet and let's check out the most reliable Japanese motorcycles ever made. Starting our list is the Honda VFR750F. This bike was a hit because it mixed performance, comfort, and seriously solid engineering. It ran on a 748cc V4 engine that put out about 100 horsepower, enough to push it close to 150 miles per hour. What made it special and reliable were things like its gear-driven camshafts, a fancy way of saying the engine parts were built tough and precisely, reducing common failures like timing chain issues. It was comfy enough for long trips, but still sporty enough for fun rides, making it a dependable all-arounder that riders loved. While the VFR packed complex tech reliability can also come from pure simplicity, which brings us to the Yamaha SR500. This bike was all about keeping things basic. It had a 499cc single-cylinder 4-stroke engine, making around 32 horsepower. Top speed was about 90 miles per hour. Nothing crazy, but that wasn't the point. Its simple design meant fewer things could go wrong. No complex electronics, no liquid cooling, just basic, strong mechanical parts. It was easy to work on and tough as nails, which is why custom builders still love them today. If you wanted a bike that just worked, the SR500 was a great choice. Speaking of working, even unusual ideas could be made reliable, like this next weird wonder, the Suzuki RE5. What made it stand out? It used a Wankel rotary engine, something you almost never see on bikes. This 497cc engine produced about 62 horsepower and delivered power really smoothly. While the engine itself was quite innovative, the bike wasn't a huge sales success. Why? Well, rotary engines are thirsty for fuel and can be complicated to fix if something does go wrong. But for its short run, Suzuki proved they could make even this weird engine tech work reliably, day to day, even if it didn't catch on. If Suzuki experimented with engine design, Honda took it to another level with the stunning CBX 1000. Talk about making a statement. It arrived with a massive 1047cc inline 6-cylinder engine. 6 cylinders! That beast made 105 horsepower and could hit speeds around 135 miles per hour. While you might think such a complex engine would be trouble, Honda built it incredibly well. It was smooth, powerful, and surprisingly dependable for such a wild design. Sure, working on it required some patience and maybe extra knuckles, but the core engineering was solid Honda quality, showing they could handle complexity without sacrificing reliability. From the smooth 6 of the CBX, let's jump to something with a totally different, much wilder personality, the Kawasaki H1 Mach III. Hold on to your hats for this one. This bike was famous, or maybe infamous, for being wickedly fast. It used a 498cc 2-stroke inline 3 engine, making 60 horsepower. That might not sound huge today, but on this lightweight bike, it meant crazy acceleration, earning it the nickname Widowmaker. While its handling was a bit wild, the engine itself was pretty tough for a high-strung 2-stroke. Keep it fed with oil, and it would scream reliably. It cemented Kawasaki's image for building powerful, exciting, and surprisingly sturdy machines. Kawasaki wasn't the only one making exciting 2-strokes. Yamaha had its own pocket rocket, the legendary RD 350 LC YPVS. This bike was a giant killer at its day. Its 347cc parallel twin engine made about 57 horsepower, good for around 115 miles per hour. The key tech here was the Yamaha Power Valve System, or YPVS. This system helped the engine make good power at both low and high speeds, making it easier to ride and more efficient. For a performance two-stroke, the RD 350LC was known for being reasonably reliable if maintained properly. It offered race bike thrills with dependability you could count on. While the RD 350 offered thrills back then, riders today often want a more modern blend of fun and reliability, which is exactly where the Kawasaki Ninja 650 shines. Introduced in 2006, this bike nailed the balance between fun, comfort, and reliability. It uses a 649cc parallel twin engine, making about 67 horsepower and reaching speeds around 131 miles per hour. This engine is known for being super dependable and easy to live with. It's powerful enough to be fun but not so crazy that it stresses the components. Features like available ABS brakes and a slipper clutch make it safer and easier to ride too. It's just a great, solid, reliable package for almost any rider. That dependable parallel twin engine in the Ninja 650 has roots going way back, reminding us of another famously reliable twin, the Yamaha XS 650. When this bike came out, it went head-to-head with the British bikes that ruled the market, and it often won on reliability. Its 653cc parallel twin four-stroke engine made 53 horsepower, hitting about 105 miles per hour. A key design feature was its horizontally split crankcase. This sounds technical, but it basically meant fewer places for oil to leak out, a common problem on older bikes. This simple, robust construction made the XS 650 famously tough and easy to keep running, earning it a loyal following. The XS 650 proved the reliability of parallel twins, but Suzuki showed V-twins could be just as dependable and add a different character with the SV 650. Launched in 1999, it quickly became popular because it's just so versatile and dependable. The heart is a 645cc V-twin engine, producing around 75 horsepower. This engine configuration gives it a unique feel and sound, and it's known for being incredibly reliable. The bike's light frame and good handling make it fun for twisty roads, commuting, or even track days. It's proof that you don't need the most complicated bike to have a great, reliable ride. While the SV 650 offered balanced fun, Kawasaki aimed for groundbreaking performance backed by solid reliability, with the bike that started it all, the Ninja GPZ 900R. Back in 1984, this thing was revolutionary. It had a 908cc liquid-cooled 16-valve inline-4 engine making 115 horsepower, enough to blast past 150 miles per hour, making it the fastest production bike at the time. Innovations like its diamond-style perimeter frame gave it great handling, and the compact, powerful engine proved incredibly durable. This bike set the standard for future sport bikes, proving high performance and reliability could go hand in hand. So, how did these Japanese companies consistently crank out such reliable bikes, especially when they were pushing performance boundaries like Kawasaki did with the first Ninja? Was it just luck or something more? Let's look closer. It really came down to a focused approach. Japanese manufacturers poured resources into research, development, and especially production quality control. They learned quickly, adopted the best practices, and weren't afraid to over-engineer components to ensure they lasted. Unlike some competitors who might have rushed new tech to market, companies like Honda, Yamaha, Suzuki, and Kawasaki often tested things thoroughly. They also paid close attention to material science, using strong alloys and precise machining. This commitment to getting the basics right, from engine internals to frame welds, built a reputation for bikes that wouldn't leave you stranded. It wasn't magic, it was just solid, disciplined engineering. And that solid engineering wasn't just for street bikes. It extended to creating whole new categories, like the incredibly reliable Yamaha DT1 did for off-roading. Launched in 1968, this bike basically created the dual sport category as we know it. It had a simple 250cc two-stroke engine and a chassis that could handle both dirt trails and paved roads. Why was it reliable? Simplicity was the key. Two-stroke engines have fewer moving parts than four-strokes, and Yamaha built the DT1 tough enough to handle abuse off-road. It was lightweight, easy to fix with basic tools, and just kept chugging along. It opened up adventure riding to the masses because it was a bike you could trust far from home. From the simple, tough DT1, let's rocket to the absolute opposite end of the spectrum, a bike showcasing reliability under intense stress. The Kawasaki Ninja H2R. Okay, now for something completely wild. This isn't your average commuter. Introduced in 2015, this track-only monster uses a supercharged 998cc inline-4 engine to produce over 300 horsepower. Yes, 300. While it's a highly complex and stressed machine built for extreme performance, Kawasaki applied their engineering know-how to make it work reliably under those conditions. Everything from the engine internals to the unique trellis frame is built to handle insane forces. It's reliably pushed it to the absolute limit of modern technology. Now, hold on a minute. Before we move on, have you hit that like button yet? You haven't? And you call yourself a true bike enthusiast. Hit it right now so we can stay motivated to bring more awesome videos just like this one. And now, from extreme speed to extreme comfort, let's talk about the Honda Goldwing. Since 1974, this bike has been the king of motorcycle touring. Early models used a flat-4 engine, like an old VW Beetle, later growing to a flat-6. These engines are known for being incredibly smooth and unbelievably reliable, capable of running for hundreds of thousands of miles with just basic maintenance. Everything on the Goldwing is built for the long haul, from the comfy seats to the shaft drive system that needs less upkeep than a chain. It's the definition of dependable, long-distance travel on two wheels. If the Goldwing masters reliable long distances at touring speeds, the Suzuki Hayabusa masters reliable high speeds over distance. Meet the Busa, the bike that stunned the world in 1999 by becoming the fastest production motorcycle ever, easily breaking the 190 mph barrier. Its incredibly aerodynamic shape and powerful 1299cc, which was later upgraded to a 1340cc inline-4 engine, were built not just for speed, but for durability at speed. Suzuki knew riders would push these bikes hard, so they engineered the engine and chassis to handle it. Despite its high performance, the Hayabusa gained a reputation for being surprisingly reliable and even comfortable for long rides. It's a speed demon you can actually depend on. While the Hayabusa focused on top speed, another Yamaha legend focused on pure, brutal acceleration, and did it reliably. The V-Max. Looking for muscle? The Yamaha V-Max delivered it in spades. When it hit the streets in 1985, its big V4 engine and aggressive looks were unmistakable. The key feature was V-Boost, a system that opened extra butterfly valves at higher RPMs for a surge of power, perfect for stoplight drags. That powerful 1198cc V4 engine, making around 145 horsepower in early models, was built strong. While it looked mean, the underlying engineering was solid Yamaha quality. It was a reliable way to get arm-stretching acceleration for decades. Alright, so these bikes are tanks, right? Mostly yes, but here's a little twist. Reliable doesn't always mean zero effort. Even the toughest bikes need proper care. Sometimes the issue isn't the bike's design, but maybe owners stretching maintenance intervals because they think the bike is indestructible. Or maybe using cheap oil or parts on a high-performance machine like a Hayabusa, or an older classic where specific parts are getting harder to find. Reliability depends on good engineering and responsible ownership. So, even with these legends, check your fluids, follow the service schedule, and use good quality parts. That's how you keep them reliable for the long haul. Speaking of keeping them running, no bike embodies effortless, almost neglect-proof reliability better than the undisputed champion of dependable transport, the Honda Super Cub. Now for a true giant. Maybe the most important motorcycle ever. Since 1958, Honda has sold over 100 million of these things. Why? Because it's cheap, easy to ride, and ridiculously reliable. Its little 49cc and later larger size single-cylinder engine makes maybe 4 to 5 horsepower, but it's almost impossible to kill. The simple step-through design, automatic clutch, and enclosed chain make it user-friendly and durable. People use these for everything, everywhere in the world, often with minimal maintenance, and they just keep going. It's the ultimate example of reliable basic transportation. The Super Cub showed Honda could nail basic reliability, but Kawasaki proved Japan could deliver reliable high performance that shook the world with the mighty Z1. Back in the early 70s, the Kawasaki Z1 arrived and blew everyone away. Its 903cc double overhead cam inline-4 engine made 82 horsepower, pushing it over 130 miles per hour. This was a serious performance back then, earning it the nickname the King. More importantly, it combined that power with Japanese reliability that bikes from other countries often lacked. It proved that big, fast bikes could also be dependable daily riders. The Z1's strong engine and solid build quality helped establish Japan as the leader in motorcycle manufacturing. The Z1 set a new bar for performance reliability, but Suzuki kept pushing that envelope, defining the modern sport bike era with the incredibly focused GSX-R750. This bike is often called the first true modern sport bike. When it launched in 1985, it was like a race bike for the street. Lightweight aluminum frame, full fairing for aerodynamics, and a powerful 749cc inline-4 engine derived from Suzuki's racers. It was built to be thrashed. Suzuki knew riders would take these to the track, so they engineered them for durability under stress. Year after year, the GSX-R750 has maintained a reputation for strong engines and solid reliability, even with constant performance updates. If the GSX-R represented the evolution of the reliable sport bike, the Yamaha YZF-R1 was a revolution, changing the game entirely in 1998. Yamaha dropped a bomb on the sport bike world with this one. It was incredibly compact, lightweight, and powerful thanks to its 998cc inline-4 engine with a unique stacked gearbox design that made the engine shorter front to back. This allowed for a longer swing arm for better handling. The R1 pushed performance to a new level, but Yamaha also built it with their usual attention to reliability. Despite being a cutting-edge superbike, the R1 quickly proved it could handle hard riding without falling apart, making it a favorite for serious sport riders. The R1 redefined modern superbikes, but where did it all begin? We have to go back to the original game changer, the motorcycle that truly brought reliable performance to the masses, the Honda CB750. And number one, the bike many consider the most important motorcycle ever built. Launched in 1969, it changed everything. It had a smooth, powerful 736cc inline-4 engine, making about 68 horsepower, good for 125 miles per hour. It was the first mass-produced bike with a front disc brake for reliable stopping power. And crucially, unlike many big bikes before it, it didn't leak oil and it started reliably every time thanks to its electric starter. The CB750 combined performance, sophistication, and rock-solid Honda reliability in a way no one had seen before. It defined the superbike and set the standard for decades. And there you have it, 20 Japanese motorcycles known for going the distance without giving you grief. From simple commuters to screaming superbikes, reliability has always been a key ingredient. What's the most reliable bike you've ever owned? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like if you enjoyed this trip down memory lane. And subscribe for more motorcycle deep dives. Ride safe, chase the miles, and never forget, the best machine is the one that never lets you down.